Even though I didn't get to do this before the season started, I am still here to do my top 10 support prediction for Overwatch League Season 6. 1 week of games is not enough to change my opinion in any way whatsoever, so I'm just gonna run it. Number 10 is Bliss, and he might be a rookie, but he has all the tools already to be a top support player in this league, plus the support around him to make it happen. He's been developed through 2 very respected contender systems in Gen G from 2019 to 2022, and then O2 Blast since Overwatch 2 started in the pro scene last year. This developmental path shows in his gameplay. He's a very smart player who has the awareness and knowledge to do exactly what he needs to do in any given fight. This causes his flex supports to also be quite solid and leads him to be one of the more well-rounded main support players in the league. Dallas will not miss Chio anywhere near as much as people believe, especially off of Lucio. Number 9 is RuPaul, and this guy hit the grindstone and now looks to be one of the best, most consistent flex supports in the game. His playstyle is great for any meta with great textbook gameplay featuring sound positioning and cooldown usage. Even though Florida as a team is a bit more aggressive, he is more of a supporter for their aggression and not really directly benefiting from it like Shu, Ultraviolet, or many of the other aggressive supports in this league would. He enables the numerous other aggressive players on Florida, specifically Someone and Merit, to go absolutely crazy. I'm gonna call RuPaul the Western fielder until it's backwards because it is just truth. At number 8 we have Finn, and he had some rocky roads in his rookie season, namely some treasonous acts that made it look like he was betting against his own games in tournaments, but his regular season was very strong. Now with a year in the league under his belt and more familiar players around him, he should be able to find consistency and pop the fuck off. His aggressive style can get into trouble with high risk, high reward plays, but the Shock is a team that has historically worked well with these kind of support players, and if he hits the big pick or nade, they have the star power to grab the opportunity and secure a fight win, even if the cost is Finn's life. He is the next closest player to Shu's playstyle, and we all know how deadly Shu is. At number 7, I have Funny Astro. Last year, he was a major X factor that contributed to the Gladiators' 2 tournament wins, and that is not going away. He's an interesting case as he'll probably get less playtime than either Lastro or Babel, but he will be the difference maker in key maps throughout this year more than most supports, even with his inflexibility and lower playtime. If you need a win on Ilios, there is no one else I am calling before Funny Astro. What he does is a war crime in at least 12 major countries in the world. He has unprecedented levels of dog in him, and I am super confident to place him this high. Also, why have so many people forgotten that he has a Brig on him? It's like everybody erased their memory of his Brigitte gameplay on the Fusion as soon as he came to LA because Skewed was that guy. If they need a Lucio and a Brig on some maps, Funny Astro can do it just fine. No one in this league can match the impact and playmaking ability of Funny Astro's Lucio except for number 6, Chio. Putting the 2 Lucio guys together just makes sense to me. It's pretty much the same spiel as Funny Astro, but I do trust his Brig a little bit more, and his flexibility across the support role is better if it's needed, although that is very unlikely because, you know, he has Fielder and Vigilante right there. Another thing that sets him apart from Funny Astro is that he remains a bit more effective when he needs to tone down the aggression or play a bit more measured, like in Jotes or the playoff meta. Do not get it twisted, Chio was still more aggressive than most Lucios in those metas, but his aggression was toned down compared to the beginning of the season, and he still played best in class. What sets these 2 apart from most other Lucio players in this league is not just that they are aggressive, but how effective and impactful they are while being aggressive, even when it's not the most efficient playstyle. At number 5, I have Vindame, and it pains me to have him snubbed just shy of a Roll Star slot for the 2nd season straight, but I have to. The improvements he made under Toby on the Soul Dynasty last year were very impressive, going from really just a Brig player to also having one of the best Lucios and flexibility among main supports in this league. At his current level, he should already be a pillar the Shock can lean on for solid support, but I also expect these improvements to continue this season, although at a slower pace. I know that's not what we've seen so far in the Pro-Am and through 1 week of gameplay, but I do not care. He's a great complement to Finn and the team at large to support their aggressive plays, and I am not conceding that until I see him underperform in the long term. This guy was consistent and got shit done all last year. If he does not pan out, Krusty is a fraud and Toby is the GOAT. At number 4 and the beginning of the Roll Star slots, I have Chorong. This guy is the smartest man alive. He knows the limits of his heroes. He has the awareness and knowledge to know when he needs to act, and the big dick energy to make shit happen. He leans a bit aggressive, but he is so smart and knows how to manage the risk better than any player in this league. I am not kidding. The more you watch Chorong gameplay, the more impressive it gets. This guy Fury flicks for Pulse Bomb on Brig like he's trying to eat Grav. Who does that? He is daring you to try and stick him, and he knows you don't have the guts to do it. All of his main supports are top of the line, and his Ana is ballin'. I fully trust him to play every support you could need him to at the top level, except for Zenyatta. I don't want to talk about that one. He was cursed to be on the Defiant in his rookie season, but now he is free. At number 3, I have Violet. He is as close as we can possibly get to the perfect hyper flex support. Last season, his Lucio was pretty good, not elite, and his ult usage was tragic for a player of his caliber. His Lucio should improve this season, and that paired with his elite flex supports make him a massive threat. Violet brings something to the table no other player does. Complete support flexibility at the absolute highest level. He allows Houston to run the largest variants of backline compositions in the league using just 2 players. This is massive. They can comfortably run double flex and Lucio comps within the same map, and it is impossible for enemy teams to know what they want to do with their backline. Even though at this point in his career, he might not be the best on any hero, but his total flexibility more than makes up for it, and his unique talents as a player places him in my top 3. Number 2 is Fielder. He positions so well that it's very difficult to sustain any pressure on him, and he also doesn't compromise his cooldown usage or coordination at all. Fielder is steady for any meta and will never ever let you down. Bro is the best job having player. He clocks into his 9 to 5, gets more work done than most players do even with overtime, and calls it a day. The only possible knock on him is maybe his Zen, but Atlanta have Vigilante right there, so he does not care, and neither do I. He also picks up new heroes extremely fast, as shown by his next level Kiriko play that no one else could even touch in the playoffs. So if the next new hero is actually usable, unlike Lifeweaver, Fielder is the easy safe bet for best in the league. At number 1, I have Shu, and this comes down to playstyle preferences compared to Fielder. I think Shu's impact and his tendencies to go aggressive is a net gain more often than not throughout the year, so I rate him a bit higher. Rate more consistency in exchange for a lower peak, you probably like Fielder more, but I do not. No one else in this league can mimic what Shu does with the same frequency or impact. There are many highly aggressive players, but none of them maximize the value of every cooldown or consistently hit the high value shots like Shu does. We have seen Shu dictate the entire outcome of matches or even tournaments with crazy out of pocket plays at a consistency that no other support really competes with. Even when he isn't positioned particularly aggressively, he is still hitting pot shots on the enemy and applying the most pressure in the league, and that is why he is my number 1 choice. I feel like in this list there's a lot of different guys that you could put in, and the order is pretty up for debate as well, except for like Shu and Fielder being in the top 3, but this is what I'm going to run with for my top 10 supports of the year. Sorry, I could not get this out before the season started, but it's better late than never, so let me know your picks and who I lost the plot on in the comments down below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and tell all your friends for more Overwatch League content. Have yourself a good one. Deuces.